Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Positively Awesome Wrestling Show. It is yours truly, the Drip King, and I am joined as always by the crew. But before we get to them, we are going to introduce our good buddy from the past. It is Tyler from Tyler's Takedown, correct? That's the name of the show.
Yeah, it's Tyler's Takedowns. You got it correct, my friend.
There we go. Boom, boom. I'm starting off to a hot start today. That does never happen.
You are.
But how the heck have you been, Tyler? It's been a long time since I had a chance to chat with you, man.
Yeah, I'm doing well, Jimmy, and I'm so excited to join you guys. It's going to be a good time, and thank you, Amanda. It's I've missed everybody. This is like a family reunion.
For sure, man, for sure. Because it's been a long time. I know I tried to get on a few of them with you, but scheduling always kind of gets in the way. But we got it right tonight, and that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna have ourselves a good time. And looking good. Thank you, babe. It is you that is looking good, though, as always. But back to the crew. Tidy, you up first. How the heck have you been this week? And what's been up with you, man?
Work, and more work. I'm getting less and less sleep, man. I think I'm averaging about 4.4 hours. I'll be nice. Probably 4 hours a night. I don't know how I'm doing it, man. I got up at 6. I had some tea, and then I watched the rest of my wrestling. Maybe that's how I keep doing it. Making them lists. Making them lists, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Stay busy, baby. I'm not to be like the one-up kind of person, but like, man, I'm right there with you. The sleep thing. I have not been sleeping at all. Like if I was taking my glasses off, my eyes would be this dark. I am not getting any kind of sleep. Cameron, what is up, Cameron? Thank you for joining us, man. Thank you for joining us. And Albert, last but again, as always, certainly not least. How the heck are you? And did your Jets win today?
No.
They didn't beat the Falcons, bro. What is up with that?
No. They suck. They're terrible. They're absolutely atrocious. They actually took out Tim Boyle and put in Trevor Siemian, and he was even worse. It's just an incredible organization. But outside of the unbelievable NFL, I'm here to be a lot more positive than we were, this past week. Although I don't think we got too negative in that CM Punk deal. That, by the way, if you guys haven't seen, you guys also check out. Yeah.
If you want to see negative, you fast forward to the end, and when I start ranting about Hangman Adam Page, there's some negativity for you, but that's about as bad as I'm ever going to get.
That's probably the most me and you ever disagreed on something. It was interesting.
Yeah. I was like, man, I hope Albert don't hate me right now.
Contrary to the internet wrestling community, I know that you and I can be friends, even though we are not fans of every single one of these exact same wrestlers.
Yeah.
Who knew that could happen?
If you agree on everything, somebody's being fake. That's how I see it.
I agree.
I believe you.
And there he is. Look at that.
It's hard to believe that we all can get along and still like different people. It's an epiphany. I can't believe it. Only social media creates that illusion.
Charlotte Flair.
Everybody got on the same page.
Yeah.
Charlotte Flair. Here we go again.
Yeah,
oh my goodness, I can't escape it. I cannot.
Charlotte
real quick, Tyler, are you a Charlotte Flair fan?
I am a fan. I know
I am surrounded by fools.
Yes. Oh my!
Join us. One of us.
The majority is.
So you're telling me it's a dark side kind of thing. Darth Vader is luring me for Charlotte Flair.
That head. Part of the crew. One of us.
All right.
Jimmy's the only one who's not, Tyler.
Yep, I'm the only one that's not, and I will never be. I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna say that. She could turn me. It's gonna take a lot of work.
It can happen.
You're in great company here.
I've been turned before, so we'll see. But now on to the next part of the show. As always, it is time for. Oh, there we go. My mouse is working. The Positively Awesome Wrestling Top 5. Thank you. And this week, our top 5 is the top 5 likely to win the United States Championship #1 contender tournament. That is the longest title for one of our top 5 so far. Mark it down. This is the date. Longest one so far. Boom. Same Z's. So what we're going to do, we're going to go through the top 5. I've made the list. As always, we're going to see if they agree or disagree with me. And then once we get to the end, we're going to take a... You know what? Before we even get there, we're going to go ahead and start with the bonus question. We're all going to go around. I want to know who you think the NXT person will be. And then I also want to know who you want it to be. If it's the same, cool beans. If not, you get 2 answers. So with that said, Tidy is our resident NXT guy, so he is going to go first. He doesn't look like he's ready. Too darn bad.
Okay, so who I think it should be Tyler Bates, because he hasn't done much down there in NXT, and the boy can go. Now, my consideration is whoever faces, I think they're going to lose, man. All right, Logan Paul is going to win. So Tyler can take that on the chin. I don't want it to be that way but at least he'll get a big spotlight. People can see what he can do, possibly a PLE Royal Rumble. Who I think should be Braun Breaker, man. I've been watching NXT lately, and I am beyond impressed. Talk about you being a Charlotte fan one day. I never thought I'd be a Braun Breaker fan. Dude, he's more convincing than normal. He is fully engaged in his act right now. He truly is a pit bull. And, man, that match, Braun Breaker, I think would be the smarter bet if they're trying to get someone to beat Logan.
Yeah, I think the attitude of change that they've given Braun has worked wonders for him. But like wonders. It's a night and day difference because we knew he had it. We just never saw it. Recently, we've been seeing it, and I like it. So I'm not mad at the Braun Breaker but you think, who'd you say you think it was? Is that who you thought it was? Or you thought it was Tyler Bates?
I think it's Tyler Bates, but I kind of want it to be Braun Breaker because it can't be Carmelo or Dom or Wes Lee because they're all caught up in something. But Dom would be a nice surprise.
I'll say this, Courtney. I would be ecstatic if Tiffany Stratton came up and beat Logan Paul and won the United States tournament.
Woo, that would be
brutal.
Okay, so now up next, Tyler. We got Tidy. He said Tyler Bate is who he thinks. Braun is who he wants. So now it's down to you. Who do you think and who do you want?
Who do I think just for the surprise? Maybe Trick Williams because nobody's going to expect it. Because everybody's kind of seeing Carmelo and Braun, which I like those picks. But I'm kind of thinking, hey, maybe give him an opportunity. Yeah. Who I would like to for it to be. That's kind of tough because I'm kind of leaning toward the 2 I just named, Carmelo Hayes. And to be fair to Toddy, he knows more about NXT than I do. So it's kind of made it more complex to see who could have chemistry with Logan Paul. But I think Logan Paul's is just that good. It doesn't matter. I think he can make the match work. So I'm going to just go with Carmelo Hayes. And that's not probably the greatest answer, but I don't watch enough NXT. So I'm going to be honest with you. So
Carmelo Hayes, I think Carmelo Hayes is a great answer because he's probably the most in-ring ready as far as the people down in NXT, him and Ilya. So that's not a bad knock at all. Albert, up next, who do you think and who do you want it to be?
I don't have to speak because Tidy just stole my entire answer.
What is this nonsense going on?
The entire thing. So my thought process was, okay, right now this makes the most sense for it to be Tyler Bate. I think Tyler Bate hasn't been doing a lot in NXT. I think he's kind of been there longer than everybody else, and I think he's deserving of the call-up. And I do think that right now Pete Dunne needs a friend. And it would be interesting that in that feud with Pretty Deadly, Pete Dunne needs a partner. Ridge has turned his back on him. Sheamus is nowhere to be found. Tyler Bate's kind of the perfect person to slide in. So even if Tyler doesn't win the tournament, he comes up, maybe he wins in the first round, he loses in the second round. He's a perfect person to slide in to help out Pete Dunne. But
I love it.
I didn't even think about that aspect. That's actually really
brilliant, Albert.
No, it is good.
I'm with you, Tidy, 100%. This is the way that you get Braun Breaker to make an impact, right? Come in, U.S. title tournament. He comes in, gets a couple of big wins. And again, same thing. Even if he doesn't win the tournament, even making like the finals before like he inevitably, let's say, loses to Kevin Owens, that's a great way to introduce this guy, to give him a really solid push on the main roster to show, okay, he's here to stay.
Man, so I'm not going to lie. I'm cheating because I'm looking at the NXT roster. And I'm trying to go through all the people and what they're currently doing. I wanted to say Dijak, but then I remembered, nope, he was the first one to get added to the deadline match. I don't think Carmelo and Trick, because they're in the middle of their little story they're telling, I don't think they would do that to disrupt it. Braun Breaker, he's also in the deadline match, so I'm not sure if they would do that. Ilya, Courtney just said Ilya. I don't think they would do that because he's the NXT champion. So I'll go with who I want because I want him to do everything, and that's Noam Dar because I think Noam Dar is the absolute best thing in NXT. He is amazing. I don't think it will be Noam Dar though. There you go. There you go. That's what I like to see.
He was also on my list.
I don't want to see Noam Dar go anywhere without metaphor though.
No, he can do it without metaphor.
They can come up with them. It's not a full-time thing. Bring the metaphor. But who I think it is, I'm gonna go ahead and just way out of left field with it. I'm gonna say Von Wagner because he's
you guys are on fire.
He's not really involved in a storyline per se. They're telling his story, but he's not involved with anyone other than Mr. Stone. So yeah, there we go. And I think it's time. I think you could just bring him in there, and this is a way to do it. He could go up against Karrion Kross, like in the first round. Karrion Kross could beat him, and that's not going to hurt him because Karrion Kross is a big dude, and he just gets caught with him. I think Von Wagner is the guy who I'm going to go with here. So if any of us get it right, points across the board for that, and they will win absolutely nothing except for bragging rights. But I like it anyway, so good list there for us. Now we will move on.
Bragging rights, like the fact that I'm the WWE Predictions champion. Is that bragging rights?
I'm the Triad champion, baby. Wrestle Buddy Wars, the Wrestling with Your Thoughts, and the WWE Predictions champion. That's 3.
You're the AEW Predictions champion.
That's what I meant at AEW. I will get that WWE one at Royal Rumble, and I will be the quad champ. You will see that soon enough. But now, before we go, does anybody see the person from NXT winning the tournament?
I don't.
I don't.
Okay. The tidy's guessing. He's thinking still.
I can see Braun Breaker or Carmelo. Those are other people on my list. Even though Noam wouldn't win because I don't want Noam to lose to Logan Paul. And I don't want
Braun Breaker to lose to Logan Paul. Whew.
I'll be okay with it. I don't know.
It'd be tough.
Okay,
I think Logan Paul's got to keep it. To be honest,
yeah.
He's got to. They need momentum for the title. Yeah.
No, because he's going against Ilya. I was going to say Baron Corbin, but no, it's too soon for that. But now we'll move into the top 5 most likely that I have chosen. Again, top 5 likely to win the United States Championship #1 contender tournament. And starting off with number 5. Hello, Standing Strong. Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Hey, Waylon.
Oh, that's your buddy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Big fan, man. A good guy. Yeah.
Thank you for joining, Waylon. All right, number 5 on this list, and it is sure to make Tidy upset, but I'm sorry to do it. But Santos Escobar is number 5 on this list. I wish I could put him higher, but I don't think Santos and Logan Paul works with him being a mega heel at this point and Logan Paul being an a-hole. And I also think Santos is in the midst of a thing with LWO. I wouldn't be surprised if they gave it to him just because he is kind of on a hot streak right now and he just turned heel. I think you'd want to give him some momentum. I just don't think it's the time to do this yet for him. And since Rey Mysterio Jr. just lost the United States title, it's like, well, he could have it and then Rey Mysterio could come back and want to get it from him. And there's a story there. I just don't think it's strong enough at this point. I'm going to kick it over to you first, Tyler, and see what your thoughts on this are. Let us know.
I think you're right. There's a story with Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio, but I don't think it's the time for Logan Paul to lose. I think it's good that they're building up challengers because you always need to freshen up the story. I just think Logan Paul just needs to keep the belt at least for a little longer. I know it depends on his schedule, but I foresee him staying with WWE for a while, at least to work out these dates. And as long as they need him to carry this U.S. title, and maybe you could still get Mysterio and Escobar in the mix with Logan Paul.
Yeah.
When Mysterio comes back, even beyond the tournament, there's a lot of interesting ways you could go about it. But you're right, Jimmy. Santos Escobar has been very fascinating with what he's been able to do with Dragon Lee. There's also that aspect. turning on LWO. Carlito still could be involved.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
not would, because due to, all the betrayal there. So that's what I'm saying. There's so much to unpack here. But I like Santos. I don't see him dethroning Logan Paul, though, just yet.
All right, and Tidy, since I know it's your boy, let me know what you think about my disappointing number for Santos Escobar here.
I'm not happy about it.
I didn't think you would be. But just so we know, I love Santos too. I love him. But
okay, so me as a surprised Logan Paul fan, again, everybody's convincing me these days to jump on that fandom, right? People that you just don't like. You know what? He is the perfect old school, like 70s heel. Why? Because we as fans, like back then, they didn't know that shit was real. They thought that you were really a heel. They thought you were truly a bad person.
Yeah.
But we all came into this concept of knowing who Logan Paul was before WWE, and we still think he's truly a bad person. So I like the idea of Santos being like the rising heel. I don't think there's a better heel after that promo, man. I really don't. Right now, that dude is skyrocketing. You get a skyrocketing heel versus the real life heel. I want to eat it up. But you're right. It's not right. It's not good for business. It's not good for Logan because Santos can't take an L, and I don't think Santos should beat him. Shit. It's fine. I think he's number 5 for a reason. The king is
he's number 5 for a reason. I think they have Santos and Dragon Lee going in the first round too, which makes it a little bit more interesting as well. I don't think Santos is making it out of the first round now that I think about it. So he should. Sorry, Tidy. It's just the cards aren't in his favor at this moment.
Not
Albert,
right now.
what about you, Albert? Do you think I have Santos placed perfectly here or no?
I do like that. You very politely asked Tidy what you thought, and he was just like, well, quite frankly, I hate it. That cracked me up. But it's 100% right. And that's exactly where we're at. Santos Escobar is incredibly talented, but right now he's in the middle of telling a much bigger story. We don't know. We've had differing opinions about if he's going to have a new legado, who is going to be members of that. We can now see it's Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro look like they sided with the LWO. They're staying babyface at this time. So there's a lot going on with Santos. Yeah. I don't think he's one of these guys that actually doesn't need to win this tournament because he's still relevant without it.
Yeah. He's showing everybody is like, hey, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is my bread and butter, and y'all better get used to me because
absolutely,
man, he looked so out of place as that baby face in LWO. I cringed every time he did the LWO and like 5 people was with him. I was like, come on, man, Santos is better than this.
Yeah. I think if he turns babyface after this, he'll be a much better babyface. I think he needs this heel run to, like in NXT, he was a heel for that almost his entire run, but he got so over, people just started liking him, and bam, he became a babyface. So
he'll be more comfortable next time around.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I love the presentation in NXT, Albert. By the way, I'm glad you pointed it out.
Absolutely, excellent presentation.
So, number 4, we will go on to Mr. Austin Theory, a former United States champion. And since he is a former United States champion, I have to put him in here because, again, I wouldn't be surprised if they gave him the opportunity to go up against Logan Paul. He had the thing with Pat McAfee, so he's proven that he can get in there with a celebrity and be safe and have a nice match with him. And Logan Paul is, I hate to say this, don't burn me, people, but he's better than Pat McAfee as far as celebrity wrestlers go. So I would love to see what Austin Theory could do with a better celebrity wrestler. But again, I don't think it's going to happen. It's just one of those ones where if it did, I'd be like, okay, I'm cool with that. So with that, Albert, I'm going to let you go first this time. I'm going to hear what you got to say about an Austin Theory, Logan Paul possible scenario here.
Sure. First of all,
what up, Nick? Thank you for joining us.
Shout out to Nick.
Hey, Nick.
Nick.
Good to see you, buddy.
It's a party.
So look, I like the idea of this. I just don't see the need for it. I think that Logan, Theory, and Grayson Waller are all kind of being the exact same heel right now.
Yeah.
I think the further apart they stay, the better. The less people understand that that's kind of like what it is. So I think they need to just be spread apart. I actually almost want to switch Santos and Austin Theory on this list for that reason. I just don't want Theory anywhere near Logan Paul right now because I just think that they're just it'd be like, you know, that Spider-Man meme where they're both just pointing at each other right now. I just don't see it.
All right, Tidy, I'm gonna let you follow that because you laughing. You and Albert like a tag team at this point. What you got to say about Austin Theory at number 4, possibly taking on Logan Paul?
Tag me in. I want to switch it, man. I want to say Santos would have been
You
a
a
number 4
Santos
for me.
fan? That's all this is.
Look, man, when's the last time Austin Theory pulled my heartstrings? Maybe they should amputate his leg. I hope you never come back. When's the last time that I had that fiery promo from Theory? Never. That's when. I care less. I don't care. Should be number 5. But you're damn right. He's at least wrestled a celebrity. He's been a United States champion. So on credibility, screw it. Yeah, give him number 4.
The credibility is what got him number 4.
And I'm getting sick of you being right, Jimmy. That shit is good. I didn't think about that. United States champion. God. All right. So, but no, I don't want. I'm the same way. I don't want Theory up in there. I don't want Grayson in there. And it's not because they're all Spider-Mansies alike. I mean, they're just not in a position to come at the most YouTube guy in the world. They're just not ready for that. They stole Rock's million hits. Their lies on that. They're not ready for that. I would take at least 3 of these other people on here on the list of mine that deserve way more. So
3 people?
You're right. Huh?
3 people you said?
There's 3 people I would rather have that.
Okay,
I
so
think
1,
should.
2, 3, and Austin Theory is number 4. Booyah!
Damn it!
You've been canceled, son. Tyler, it is your turn. What you think about an Austin Theory, Logan Paul possible scenario here?
Man, you're too good with this.
I actually like it.
This is why.
Thank you, Tyler.
No, you know, you all make some great observations. I just going with your all's point that he's faced a celebrity. I think if you could get Grayson Waller away from Austin Theory, even if it's for this match, it would make all the difference in the world. I think Austin Theory is such a great worker for a guy that's so young. He gets it, and so does Logan Paul. I think that's why this matchup would be intriguing for any viewer. So I'm trying to look at it from a positive point of view, since that's what you guys are getting across. I know we have to look at the negative too. Don't get me wrong, but I actually like the potential of Austin Theory taking on Logan Paul because they're enough of a heel, at least Logan Paul is, to make Austin Theory seem like you want to cheer him. So it could be a very riveting dynamic. I mean, I think you could have that.
Okay, and there's more to this, and I'll get to it in just a second. Amanda says, "Turn around, Tyler. You're missing the show. Smackdown's on right behind you, and you're here with us. I greatly appreciate
I know it exactly. I was going to tell you know, Caleb Braxton. You know, we're at the Barclays Center in Tennessee. What's going on? This is crazy.
Theory in the way was awesome. I'm not gonna lie.
I agree.
Yeah,
He hasn't found his hook yet, and I'm about to get to this because we're moving on from number 4 to number 3, and my number 3 is Grayson Waller, and I'm about to tell you why. And I guarantee you, by the time I'm done, you're all gonna be on board with me. I promise you that, because if we're looking at WrestleMania coming up, which is what Royal Rumble tends to do, it tends to start off some WrestleMania feuds. I look at what are we going to have Austin Theory doing at WrestleMania? Because he's one of the brightest young stars they have. They're going to get him on that show. Grayson Waller is one of like the hottest acts they have right now. You're going to have him on the show. Even though they're together now, what are they going to be doing at WrestleMania? I think this is very possible. We could be getting a Grayson Waller Austin Theory match at WrestleMania. A perfect way to set this up is if Grayson Waller wins this during the tournament, he beats Austin Theory. That starts to set up a little bit of tension there because Austin Theory is now like, yo, my time is now. Nope, it's not. And Grayson Waller can make him look like a fool on the microphone And then Grayson Waller goes on and he gets the spotlight against Logan Paul. And that just infuriates Austin Theory. That causes the split there. Austin Theory is why Grayson Waller loses, so Grayson Waller's protected. I think Grayson Waller doesn't have to change a thing. Much like with the LA Knight, when they were trying to push him as a heel, and everyone's like, you got to make him a babyface. I says, you don't have to make him a babyface. You just got to give him different opponents. You could do LA Knight, babyface or heel, the same exact way. You don't have to change a thing. Just change the opponents. Grayson Waller's the same way, in my opinion. I think he works either way because he's just a funny guy. He's very funny. He's got the gift of gab. Sorry to take that from Trick Williams, but it is what it is. And I think this is a way to start setting up Austin Theory versus Grayson Waller. And having Logan Paul on the Waller effect, it makes sense. He goes, you got impulsive, I got Waller effect. That there's a lot of things here that make this work. That's my take on it. I just think there's two other people who make a little bit more sense now. But I think of the 5, the Grayson Waller one might be the one I want the most. But with that, I'll allow Tyler. I'm going to let you go first this time, bud. Let me know what you think about a Grayson Waller, Logan Paul scenario.
Well, Jimmy, you do convince us. I mean, that would be a terrific matchup. Now I'm kind of changing my response. He's already doing the CM Punk to me. He's manipulating me. I want to join his cult. It's unbelievable. But yeah, I like Waller taking on Logan Paul. It's a good way to separate Austin Theory. Kind of what I was trying to pair together is get that separation where you could have Waller take on Logan Paul. Yeah, it's just good stuff. That's all I can add. I mean, you pretty much articulated it, Jimmy, and I'll let these guys chime in. But I can see it with the talk shows. It makes a lot of sense. And yes, I agree, Waylon. Grayson Waller versus Austin Theory. Exactly. Not much to say. I mean, you kind of took my answer. The way you were laying it out, it all makes sense.
I'm going to go to you, Albert, before I let you go. I'm like, I know you want to separate them because they're all so similar. But I just think the Grayson Waller can go toe-to-toe with Logan Paul. And that in itself is going to make people want to cheer for Grayson Waller.
If this was a year in advance, like we were sitting right here in 2024, I'd be with you. I just don't think enough viewers have gotten, and this isn't Grayson Waller's fault. This is WWE's fault. I don't think that enough viewers have gotten enough of Grayson Waller for them to want to cheer him yet. I think that people like him, but I think that he's been associated with a guy with mega heat like Austin Theory. I think he's got so much heat right now. I don't know if anybody's clamoring to be like, hey, you know who I want to cheer for? Grayson Waller. I think give him a little bit more time. I think you're 100% right. I just don't think he's had the exposure yet. And okay. I think that, we saw him in NXT, so we get that side of him that maybe some other people maybe don't right now. But if you just look at his overall WWE presentation, it's been very annoying heel, not much of a redeeming quality yet. Like, there were the points where The Rock was starting when he was turning heel. He had those couple of things he would do that would start to get him over. Like, Austin Theory hasn't even gotten there yet, and I don't think Waller's 100% there. I like the idea, though. The idea does make sense. You do bring up a good point in booking it that way. I just don't think we've seen the relationship with Theory and Waller mature enough yet, and I don't want either of them to be a babyface right now either.
Quick question. Do you think Grayson Waller is further along than Austin Theory?
In some ways, yeah, I do.
As far as the entire package goes.
Yeah. Like, I like Theory a lot, but I think that, Waller has a thing. He
found his thing.
Yeah.
Austin Theory hasn't.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I was thinking about this before, and this is off topic, but it's on topic. The one thing that I think that Liv Morgan is missing is she doesn't have a thing. Everybody in WWE, if what you are predicting is right, yes, of course, but that's all. That's an if. But I think that's my thing about Austin Theory right now is that I like Austin Theory, but I don't have anything to care about. There's nothing that describe Austin Theory in 5 words. It's hard. Describe Grayson Waller in 5 words. It's easier. And I think that really makes a big difference in your presentation.
That's why I think Grayson Waller as the babyface is much more ideal or likely to happen here. And again, that's why it's like it's the one I would want. But again, you bring up a good point. I know him from NXT as well, and a lot of the audience doesn't. So that's a good point. Tidy, what do you think about as Nick says it, the influencer versus the kayfabe influencer for a feud at the Royal Rumble over the United States Championship? What you say about it?
I'll say my fragile mind and my perspective have been changed. You've convinced me. When Grayson Waller got called up, the one thing that I wanted to do was like imagine the different Mike promo fights. Imagine him clowning people in the middle of that ring, the Grayson Waller effect. And there's no bigger person that can say your so-called talk show when I have a real talk show.
Yeah.
There's no bigger person that can say that right now. And because of that, he can punk Grayson and get a little bit of sympathy. All we need is a little tiny nudge for Grayson, and actually just completely waste him. Grayson, as we know, he'll fire back. He's really good at talking, but if they can just do the sympathy thing, that's a fun little angle. I don't think they'll do that, but if they did, I think he'd be able to pull it off because he's got that personality. That boy can talk, and I know he feels what he says, so he means what he says. I think he can do it. So for that alone, everything else you said on top of that, it convinced me. I think that would be something I actually want more than anything else right now. You changed my list.
But and then I see Albert shaking his head. Here's another thing I hate about this list is I feel like there's only one person on this list that really makes sense, because the list it's just kind of a weird tournament setup. It's like it comes across as very obvious who's winning this.
It's very
sometimes the most obvious isn't the most obvious. Like they're like, it's going to be this person, it's going to be this person. And then it's like, boom, no, it's this person. And that's kind of what sets them on their trajectory. And that's what I'm looking at for Grayson here. And also, I'm just looking at how simple this would be. Logan Paul's like, hey, congratulations, kid. Why don't you come be on Impulsive? And then Grayson Waller's like, what you talking about, kid? You can come be on the real talk show, The Waller Effect. And then you're off to the races and things like that. So that's my biggest thing with this is trying to find someone in this list that makes sense was kind of hard. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. We're going to see. But it does come across as a little bit weird, the people they've picked. Waller has it. Yeah,
it's very heel heavy.
That was extremely.
That was my thing. Yeah, I thought that, okay, that's why I was thinking Braun, but I was like, another heel to add to this, and that's why I was a little bit leaning more towards Carmelo, but I just don't want to see Carmelo come into a tournament that I don't think he has a chance of winning.
Carmelo's also a heel. He jumped Trick.
Whoop that Trick.
Don't buy that stuff they showed on NXT, whatever the video where it's not Lexus King. They're doing the switcheroo. HBK's been doing that all year.
I don't think it's Lexus King either, but I don't think it's Carmelo either. But we'll see. But anyway, so my thing is that, okay, again, all right, but even still, if you want to use that, fine, another heel. That's why I went with Tyler Bate, because they need a baby face in the tournament. It's crazy. It's
and he's literally doing nothing right now. So
and your entire list that we've brought up, everybody on here has been a heel so far.
Yeah, again, that's what makes it hard. Dragon Lee, I was like, I could have put him on over Santos, but again, I don't think he has a realistic chance of winning. I just don't. It just doesn't click for me. And then that brings us to the number 2 person on this list, which is to me the most obvious person to win this, and that's Kevin Owens. He had the segment with Logan Paul, so it's kind of like, oh, they're showing us ahead of time. But again, I think that's a little bit of dangling the carrot in front of our face and then just throwing it away and being like, no, you're not getting that. We're giving you something completely different. All I'm gonna say before I swing it off to y'all, I have him at number 2, simple for the fact I do not like the idea of Kevin Owens taking a loss to Logan Paul. I can't stand the idea of it. I can't. I'm sorry. I know I'm all about allowing the celebrities to come in and get wins on people. Kevin Owens is one of them. I just refuse to allow. I'm sorry. He lost to Stone Cold, and I was cool with that. That made sense. Logan Paul, no. And he's also in the middle of a thing with Grayson and Austin Theory, so it's like, I don't know. I'm not with it. So with that, I'm going to swing it over to Albert. You let me know what you think about Kevin Owens and Logan Paul.
First of all, once again, Nick and I on the same wavelength. Just wanted to throw that out there. I said that earlier, Nick.
Yeah, that's exactly what Albert said.
Look, I like the idea of it. I think that, man, the promos between these two are going to be so much fun. You know, I think that KO is going to put on a great match. But I'm with you. I don't think KO loses clean, but he still has to lose. And unless it's one of those things where not only is he not losing clean, but it's somebody else that's coming in for him to like be in like a major feud that'll lead him through like the road to WrestleMania. I just don't see the idea of him just being this random guy that comes on the Smackdown after getting traded to just be fodder for Logan Paul. Like, I don't like the way that sounds. It just doesn't sit well with me because, I mean, Sami Zayn's being presented as a main eventer. Jey Uso's being presented as a main eventer. Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton now is on SmackDown being presented as a main eventer. Kevin Owens just always seems to change brands and just be stuck in this upper mid-card unless he's facing Roman. And let's face it, every time he's faced Roman, everybody was like, well, he's not beating Roman. The one person that you would think he had a chance against, Seth, was a guy he's never faced for the championship, and then they put him on a different brand. I don't like the idea of it. Yeah. Do I think he wins? Will it be entertaining? Will it be fun? Yes. Could they do something that will make me go, okay, I didn't hate that? Sure. But I still don't like the idea.
No. Like, and I'm with you. It would be entertaining for sure, because literally anything Kevin Owens does is entertaining. But I look back at things like he wrestled Stone Cold at WrestleMania, and then the very next night he was in a program with Ezekiel, and I'm like, what the heck are we doing here? We cannot do this with Kevin Owens.
Main event 2 WrestleManias in a row. Like, it doesn't make sense.
We cannot do this with Kevin Owens. And at this point, I would much rather see him wrestle Roman Reigns at Royal Rumble again, because at least I know that match would be amazing, because he is Roman Reigns' best dance partner to this day. Anybody that disagrees, go scream at a wall, because I ain't listening to it. He's Roman Reigns' best opponent, and I would much rather see that again than to see him lose to Logan Paul, whether there's kerfuffle involved or not. Don't do it to me. Please don't do it to me. Tyler, what do you think about Logan Paul and Kevin Owens? Oh, man, that's making me angry.
I like everything you guys are bringing up. I would just, my argument would be, if Logan Paul could beat Kevin Owens, so think about how much more heat you get on Logan Paul. I mean,
yeah,
that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. And I do like the story they were telling about the KO, even with the initials, and how Logan Paul's the knockout artist. There's a lot that can be developed with it, just that little intricacy in the story. So I'm kind of just looking at it from the basic storytelling perspective. I know it's not the popular vote to have Kevin Owens lose, but Logan Paul can just make you dislike him so much. Think about how much more credibility on a heel persona if he beats Kevin Owens, and then Kevin Owens can always get it back, though. I think he can always get the revenge when it means something more than just the U.S. title. No disrespect to the United States title, but more so than the tournament. Set it up for a rematch down the road, revisit it, or continue it. So I think there's just a lot of possibilities there.
All right, and Tidy, what about you? If you have anything to add to this mockery of an idea between Kevin Owens and Logan Paul.
Tyler's right. Like, if, that would get Logan mega heat. I mean, like, think about the poor Sheamus fans or the poor Drew McIntyre fans. Oh, well, there's Kevin Owens fans too, like us, that we just can't see him lose like this way. Only if it's to see it's only if it's to see Kevin Owens actually beat him. It's the only reason I know that's the big no. I know. But that's what I'd rather have. I mean, if Kevin Owens beats him, fine. If Kevin Owens is going like we all think that Logan's gonna win, then yeah, Kevin shouldn't be involved in that. But I do want to see something happen to Kevin, a better, a bigger, a different storyline.
Yeah. I had big.
That got me a little depressed.
Those are all going right out the window now.
blew it right up. It's like watching Sheamus fight Gunther again and lose. I can't take it anymore. I literally can't take it. Just remove Sheamus, put him in a different island. Oh, I can't see that anymore.
He'd go to the island of irrelevancy right across the lake from Roman Reigns.
Yep.
He was in an AT&T Stadium. I mean, he's in a different world. He was in football, so maybe that's where he needs to go. Just pose for pictures with the Undertaker and Jade Cargill. There you go.
I'll say this though: if Kevin Owens does win, I think LA Knight is winning the United States title at WrestleMania. I think that's just where it kind of seems like they're going. I would much rather see LA Knight and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania for the United States title than Logan Paul and LA Knight, because I think that would be I think LA Knight and Kevin Owens are better dance partners. LA Knight is pretty limited in the ring compared to the rest of Logan Paul's dance partners that he's had. And that's what I'm looking at.
So fun.
It would. It would. I think Kevin Owens and LA Knight could be fun as well, though. So
yeah, I agree with that. I'm not going to disagree there.
Unfortunately, yeah, exactly. I know, Nick. I freaking know.
Yeah, true.
But now on to number one, and since I started it off by upsetting Tidy, I'm gonna go ahead and end it by making him happy, because it's the person I think is going to win this tournament. Not the one I want to, not the one that's the most obvious. It's the one I personally think is going to win, Bobby Lashley. And I'm gonna let you know why. Because Bobby hadn't been wrestling. They just hadn't been wrestling. He'd been doing the thing with the Street Profits, bringing him in, teaching him his ways, all that good stuff. And then he has a match against Butch. And then immediately after having the match against Butch, he's announced to be in this tournament. The timing of this is kind of just too suspect for me. Usually when they're starting to build, when they give someone a win like that, they're reintroducing them and there's a tournament at play. That's kind of a telltale sign that they're in for something. And he was also a former United States champion, much like Austin Theory, which is why I have him here at number one. Tidy's super excited, so I'm going to let him go first here. What do you think about the idea of Logan Paul defeating Bobby Lashley?
No. That's not, you know what? That's bullshit. Because that would have to be the Street Profits. You turn this round upside down. That would have to be the Street Profits making big mistakes in progressing the story of Bobby Lashley talking again backstage with what's-her-face and somehow dismantling the Street Profits. But whatever. Bobby Lashley is the perfect pick for this, because like when I saw him again, given it wasn't a long enough match, given it was mostly a squash match, given Pete Dunne barely got any offense in. But man, this Bobby looks so damn convincing. He will destroy Logan. Logan's gonna have to cheat again. Street Profits gonna have to mess up. But yeah, Bobby is, man, I love Bobby Lashley. The whole crowd.
I'm assuming it's you. Get out of here with that nonsense.
And Bobby's supposed to be a heel. He's still getting cheered, man. That's how much we all loved him. How many months ago, Jimmy? So I've been talking about it. How many months ago when people started finally cheering the Bobby? That's a signed autograph card, by the way, from Bobby Lashley. It's very awesome.
Another reason I have Bobby is we have not seen Logan take on a monster brute like Bobby Lashley yet. So it's just another dynamic to see what kind of match Logan Paul can have with a WWE superstar. So with that, Tyler, I'll swing it down to you. What do you think about a Bobby Lashley Logan Paul matchup?
I'm all for it because, but like you were mentioning, Bobby Lashley has been a United States champion. I like what they're doing with the Street Profits. Street Profits needed an update. I think everybody's kind of tired of the red solo cups, and Lashley gives them more credibility. I kind of like more of the heels. I used to go for the baby faces, but that's kind of changing the older I get. But anyways, yeah, like you mentioned, pretty basic David versus Goliath, if nothing else, just to freshen up Logan Paul's rivalry. I mean, Logan Paul, I think with promos, that would be a disadvantage for Lashley. But as far as the action you would get in the ring would be awesome. The story they could tell. So I'm just very intrigued. There's not really much to add. What you guys were talking about between Lashley. I actually like the pick. Makes sense. Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, and like Lou says here, heels are the best. They have more fun. Paul Heyman said it himself.
Yeah, they are.
Like you say, like the promo would be a little disadvantage for Lashley, but I got one thing for you: the best damn entrance in WWE. That entrance is freaking killer. I don't care what.
You think that's better than Io Shirai?
When I see him make the entrance, I'll forget everything that was said a minute ago. It doesn't matter.
You think that's better than Io Shirai's entrance, man?
Yeah.
Get out. Muted and booted. Albert, tell him what it is. Wait, what do you think about a Bobby Lashley Logan Paul matchup for the United States title?
I don't like anybody that winning this tournament. What the hell's going on here? Like, I
It's
just
a
don't.
bad turn. It comes across a bad tournament.
It's
honestly,
a bad tournament. Like, honestly,
I
I'm
blame
thinking
Nick
about
Aldis.
it now, and I keep thinking, I'm like, you know what the best thing they could do is? Dragon Lee should win this tournament. Like, honestly, he should. He should win the tournament. He should face Logan because he makes sense for him to lose to Logan Paul, and at least it makes Dragon Lee look a little bit more respectable in, being like in the U.S. title picture instead of him just being like this cruiserweight that they're making it a bit. Look, I just don't see Lashley versus Logan. I think that
it's
Logan
weird.
Paul has no chance versus Bobby Lashley. Like I didn't think Logan had much of a chance against Roman, but they did enough hoopla to make it work. The hoopla goes out the window when Bobby Lashley has the Street Profits walking down to the ring with him and smacking around any of these morons that are going to try to come around with Prime Energy drinks in their hand. The Street Profits are going to smack them upside the head with some red Solo cups and let it be done. I just don't see it being. Man, I just don't like. I don't like anybody. I don't like anybody winning. I don't like Cross winning. Like, I just don't like anybody winning this tournament. Except that's it. My pick is Dragon Lee. That's the one who makes no sense.
So with that, because I'm with you, I look at all of them and I'm like, why are we doing these? And the only thing I can think of, there has to be some kind of story involved with this, and that's the end game.
Yeah.
If Bobby Lashley is here, I can see something like one of the Street Profits cost him the match. And that's how they get ousted. Because the split's come. I honestly think the split's coming. It's going to happen before WrestleMania. I truly believe that.
Really?
And I honestly do. Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
This would be a great way to do it. Like Angelo Dawkins is trying to help him because Logan Paul has the brass knucks, but in the end, it causes Bobby Lashley to get caught with the brass knucks, and that's how Logan Paul wins. Something like that is what I look at. I definitely see if there's no story that comes out of this, then man, it's like, what the heck was this tournament to begin with? Because I'm with you 1,000%. It's like these names don't make sense to me, and it's why the Grayson Waller one is the one I want the most, is because I feel like that's the one that could have the most impact here. Is if we're using it to transfer him from heel to babyface, or not even really babyface, just get the crowd behind him. Because again, he's not going to change who he is. He shouldn't, 100%. But if he's talking the way he talks to the babyfaces to the heels, we're just going to cheer anyway. So that's why he's the one I want to. I just really think Bobby's winning here. But yeah, the names on this list were weird. They were very weird to me. KO wins the tournament. Yeah, that's the one that's dangled in front of us. That's the most obvious. And Dragon Lee, the only reason I don't see Dragon Lee winning is because he didn't even win his last PLE match. He got the opportunity. He got the shine. He'll probably get his win back against Santos in the first round, but he ain't getting out of the second round. I can't see it. Go ahead, Tidy. You look like you had something.
I was gonna say, how's he gonna be a credible contender when Santos just schooled you on a PLE, son?
When he schools Santos
Ray was
back.
Wrong. Santos was right. Dragon Lee is not the future of Lucha Libre. Santos Escobar is the present and the torchbearer. That's what the truth is. How you gonna beat Logan Paul, man? Go back to NXT, son.
All right. So that is the list for this week. That was probably the most debatable one we've had so far, which is good. I liked it. That was very fun. And now we will move on to the next fat part of the show. We'll make this quick as we got to get to the guest of the week as well. I don't want to miss out on that. It is time for our favorite moments of the week. And just to get mine out of the way, I will say, Brody King has 6 points in the Continental Classic, and all of a sudden, Jimmy doesn't look like a fool for saying Brody King should win the Continental Classic, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Keep on going. He's got Daniel Garcia in this thing yet. He's going to beat Daniel Garcia. I think he should beat Andrade. The only one I don't think he's going to win is the Bryan Danielson one. But my goodness, how awesome would that be if he just beat Bryan Danielson too and got the clean sweep? Brody King, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
I didn't think he was going to beat Claudio.
What's that?
I didn't think he was going to beat Claudio.
Yeah, I didn't either. But now that he has, I'm like, it's happening. It's happening. I'm talking it into existence. That's my favorite moment of the week. That's what it is. Tyler,
I want Claudio to win that whole thing, but I like when Brody King beat him, I was like, oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Awesome.
Like, I was all for it. I liked it.
Tyler, I'll let you go first. What was your favorite moment from the week in wrestling?
I think it has to be Randy Orton. with Paul Heyman. I know everybody's going to think Rhea Ripley, and that would be good too. But I think the interaction between Heyman and Orton building up to, I think we all see what's coming, Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton, and I'm here for it. I think it's going to be great. And with the general managers, Nick Aldis taking the RKO was brilliant. Typical Randy Orton, where he even was conflicted, should I do it? And then he, settling it when he got back up, and the bloodline, LA not getting involved. But to me, it was so much the interaction. Paul Heyman is just so good, and Randy Orton as well. So to see the returning star take on a guy that's a star without competing in the ring, and Paul Heyman, to me, is one of my favorite moments, if not favorite moment of the week.
And Nick Aldis sold the hell out of that RKO.
He did.
Oh, he did.
Damn good
That was
sale.
fantastic. He laid flat out for it and everything. I love it. And here's the biggest, Lou here is the biggest Randy Orton fan I know. So I know he's happy as hell. And this is supposed to say Claudio 6 point. Heck yeah, Nick. Brody King's gonna do it, baby. That's what I like to hear. And I'm not even against this idea, too. You put all the belts on Dirty Dom, and I'm gonna be happy as hell about it. So I will swing it over to you, Albert. What was your favorite moment from the week in wrestling?
The further unraveling of Drew McIntyre, the story that they are telling with him right now is absolutely unbelievable. Just him coming out saying, hey, all right, you got me, Seth. You beat me, but I think I deserve a shot. Hey, you know what, dude? I'm happy for you. I think you deserve a shot too, but I can't do it next week because I'm facing Jey Uso. And man, just
Tell me who it is. Tell me who it is. Just tell me who it is.
He's going to kill Seth on Monday. He is going to kill Seth on Monday.
I thought he was going to kill him right there and then. He's going to destroy. I mean, he's going to. I feel so bad that Sami Zayn's in this position where he's got a match with Drew this coming Monday because, oh man, I feel I do. But it's also so good.
Yeah,
because
it is.
Drew McIntyre is being screwed right before our eyes, left off the Royal Rumble poster. Like all these little things that we're doing right now, even on social media. What do you mean you guys don't see where I'm coming from? You don't see how this is crazy? And the logic of it too.
Yeah.
I beat Jey Uso 2 weeks ago. How is he number one contender for the championship? I beat him. Like, it's just everything right there, man. It's just so well done. This is the best heel turn WWE has done in I can't tell you how long.
I was literally about to say it's probably one of my favorite heel turns of all time because of the way it slowly happened, and every single time he says something, it's like he's not wrong.
Yeah,
he's like, Seth, I had a moment of weakness because I felt bad for you. I want you to walk around with your daughter, and I felt bad for you. That shit ain't happening again. He's gonna kill Seth Rollins.
Love that.
Can't wait.
And that last out kiss onto the title belt. I mean, it just added to the aura, just with that trickle of blood leaking down his head. Like, oh my God, everything about that segment was perfect. That was the best that Drew McIntyre has been on the mic, I think, in WWE, period.
Yeah.
He is so on top of his game right now.
Yeah. Absolutely, Lou. Absolutely. And Tidy, I hope we didn't steal your thunder there because I know you like Drew there and you like to talk about that. So what was your best or your favorite moment from this last week in wrestling?
All right, so it's a lot to unpack, but Ilya, I didn't really like his promos as much from any time, to be honest. We all know his wrestling is killer. Yeah, they finally given him a character, and his character is Corbin is challenging him, and Corbin's like, well, I live the good life, and guess what? I get to go home every night, kiss my wife, kiss my kid goodnight, and guess what you don't do? You don't get to do that because your kids are across another continent, and he keeps rubbing it in his face. So Frazier has a fight with him, and Frazier tells him, and Frazier's in the back. And
I prefer his lifestyle.
Like, man, I think it's a better life. I mean, like, and then Ilya's like, no, what'd you say?
How dare you?
He's like, no. And he's like, dude, you know me from back in the day from NXT UK. We're cool, right? And he's like, no, I know what you're really saying. I'm a loser. And then he's like, okay, you know what? 99% of us would say the same thing. We prefer Corbin's life. We can kiss our family goodnight and blah, blah, blah. Ilya's pissed off about this. Ilya does a power bomb and Triple H bombs his ass with freaking forearms to the
Yeah.
face. And then to top it all off, here comes Baron Corbin on the screen talking that good mess. And it was good shit. He told him, enjoy your lonely night, champ, at the very end. Told him he would get him a first-class ticket to go back home after he beats him as an early Christmas present. And he says, the best thing Corbin said was, it's kind of cool that I'm doing something that you're used to. You know, I'm talking to you on the screen, kind of like how you talk to your family. My God. And it's making Ilya, you're seeing this thing of Ilya's really going into this character, and because it's real, he doesn't get to see his family. So it does literally bug him. So you're seeing it get under his skin. And Corbin's finally really found himself at the same time. Corbin's just that dude, NFL player with $1 million mansion, you know. It is perfect storytelling. Now I actually love what Ilya's doing. And if you haven't seen Nathan Frazier, he's been nailing those promos. That kid
Nathan
really
Frazier
is
has
the
been
son of
improving
Seth,
big time.
the son of Seth Rollins. Him and Axiom got the character yet, but Nathan did. Anyways, that's my favorite moment. Three people played a great part into building up Corbin and Ilya.
Yeah, I was watching NXT this past week, and I remember seeing that segment. And I was like, "Why is Ilya so mad at Nathan Frazier?" And then everything started playing out, and I was like, "Oh shit, Baron Corbin is an a-hole, man."
Baron Corbin is a grade A menace right now in NXT, and I love every second. This is I can't wait for this character to be on WWE television again, main roster television.
And that line where he's like, "Yeah, I just figured I'd talk to you. I feel like this is more comfortable for me to talk to the screen." I that was cold. That was cold AF, man. It was so good. It was
great
so good.
Shit.
Yeah. So there you go. That is our favorite moments of the week in wrestling. So now that brings us to that time of day. I mean, we're making great time this week. I love it. It is that time of week where it is our guestion of the week, where our guest asks us, or he tells us what it is he wants to talk about. Tyler, the floor is yours. What do you got for us, man?
Well, I'm going to go to AEW, and this is the nostalgia for me. That's why I'm going to ask this type of question. And I know it's been floating out there, but regarding Sting's last match, it's announced Greensboro. I love that they're going back to the history of the NWA. It makes sense. Had Tony Schiavone backstage, our childhood, right there, one of the voices that was announcing, and to see Ric Flair. I mean, who do you guys want to see as that opponent? Do you think Darby Allin should turn on Sting? Who do you think is going to be the better choice for Sting's last match? And do we think Ric Flair is going to turn on Sting? Remember, you know, they could do that. I mean, where Ric's not going to be involved, where it's silly, but he could low blow him or do anything, and maybe possibly cost Sting or anything. I mean, just give me some of your perspectives, because I know people are probably tired of hearing about Sting's last match, but I'm just such a fan. I grew up on him just like so many, and I'm going to be a little bit sad, even though I think it is time for him to retire. I wanted to throw that out there. I'm just so interested to get your guys' point of view.
Good question. I'm gonna let Albert go first here. So I'm not. So I have two answers. So I don't want to steal one if I can avoid it.
Honestly, my real answer is something that already happened, and I'm a little upset about it, because I think that the perfect foil for his last match and the perfect guy for him to beat, because he's just so good at being a heel, is Christian Cage. You know, I think that, like, I get that, you know, look, there's nobody in AEW right now that Sting has this, like he has a lot of history with. You know, there are some guys in WWE that, you know, they can call back on that he's maybe had some history with, but there's not a lot of guys in AEW that he has a lot of history with. And the idea of him going out, I don't think Sting is a character that needs to go out on his back. I think Sting can win his final match. I think we should all celebrate him winning a great, you know, having a great career. I know, you know, that's a normal thing. Angle went out on his back for Corbin. Like, okay, I'm going to build the business back up. I don't think anybody in AEW needs that at all. I think Sting could be undefeated his whole time. I'd like to see him versus Darby, maybe even if it's a babyface versus babyface match. But I guess those are where my head's at. Here's the other thing. I also think that AEW can give us about 15 different matches, and I'd be okay with almost any of them.
All right, Toddy, I don't know if you have a horse in this race, but if you do, you can go ahead and give it right now. Nick, I'd be interested to hear what you got to say in this too, because we went from Lou being the biggest Randy Orton fan, and now Nick here is the biggest Sting fan I know. So I would like to hear your thought on that too, Nick. Who you think should be his last match. But Tidy, I don't know if you have one, but if you do,
I got nothing on this. I haven't been following Tyler any of the AEW stuff. I don't have time. I don't have really the cable or time.
No, it's fair, man.
Yeah.
And
So
I kind of
haven't been
snuck
able
this one
to,
on you.
unfortunately. But I know who Sting is, and Sting is awesome. And I hope they do that boy right and give him the right match at the end.
Oh, they've done him right. He's undefeated in AEW.
Yeah.
He is yet to take a loss.
That is one thing I'll give AEW credit for. They have treated Sting good. I mean,
Yes, they absolutely have.
Good to hear.
He's been protected in the tag team matches, the trios, the quads, and all that other things. So I'll say this. It's gonna sound absolutely crazy, but I would not be, and everyone hates this idea, and I don't care. I would not be against the idea of seeing Ric Flair versus Sting in Sting's final match. I don't care. I went and saw Ric Flair's last match, and I know it was just awful, but the spectacle of it was just too fun. It was just too fun. And I saw, what is that? I saw that comment just threw me off, man. I got to catch myself again. Who's mommy? Who's mommy?
Maybe they're saying Rhea Ripley.
No, it's
Yeah, it could be.
MOMMY. It ain't even the
Who's
right
your
mommy.
mommy? Who's your mommy, Sting?
Bad
So-
spelling. Who knows?
So
That's his last match. I
And-
like it.
I went to the WCW, the last Nitro. I've told everybody this a million times, and it's one of my favorite things to tell people because it is a cool moment. It was a very cool moment. It was, especially for me as a big WCW fan. It was bittersweet. My first show was the last WCW show, and it was main evented by Sting and Ric Flair. So to see Sting and Ric Flair do that again for Sting's final match, yeah, the spectacle of it is kind of fun for me. But if I'm looking at it realistically, it has to be Darby Allin to me. And I'm fine with it being babyface. You don't have to have Darby's turn on him because there's no real reason he should, and there's no real reason Sting should. But if you want to put over Darby Allin in the greatest way possible, you have Darby Allin beat Sting in his final match to literally solidify, because everyone in their tag matches, everyone always is like, well, Sting's undefeated. It's always Sting's undefeated. Sting's undefeated. If you have Darby beat Sting in his final match, it makes Darby look like the strong person in that tag team, and it puts him over tremendous. I don't think there's any other way you could get Darby over as much as that would do for him. I mean, realistically, we're like, well, Sting's 65 years old. Of course, Darby should be. Yeah, but that's not how professional wrestling works. And we've seen that because Sting is undefeated in AEW. So if Darby was to get that honor, it would be huge for him. And then I think that could literally catapult him into the scenario where he goes for the AEW title, and it's believable. And that's who I would honestly pick there. Let me go here. Lou says curveball. Copeland was the cage along the turns. So I mean, it's there. It could happen.
I mean, I'm not mad about that. I mean, you would think that whatever. I'm just gonna call him Edge. You think that Edge probably wants to face Sting in at some point. So I mean, I'm okay with that too. If they they want to do something like that, that's fine.
Nick's in the same thought process as me and Tyler there when he brought up like if Flair would turn on him, it should be Darby and Flair should screw Sting in the process so Darby wins. The only thing I don't like about that is I don't think Darby would accept Flair's help, so it would have to be behind his back, and then where do you go from there? Because Flair's not going to continue to be on TV, so that would be like a dead in the water scenario. So I don't know. I don't think Ric Flair will turn on Sting. I just don't, because then where do you go from there? It's Sting's last match. There's no continuation.
Right. There's no payoff.
So that's why I don't think he'll turn on him.
That's a good point.
Sting, he's an amazing guy. He just, yeah. I've heard nothing but great things about him. So I'm not against. Again, the match would be horrid. It would be so horrid. But my goodness.
It'd have to be a spectacle for sure.
It would.
That'd be for
definitely
being
would,
a great match. Yeah.
I could not turn away watching Ric Flair's last match when I was there. I was like, well, this is just wild to me. This is absolutely wild.
Well, and you were scared for him because he had the pacemaker. Everybody was worried if Rick takes the wrong bump.
He literally faked a heart attack in front of Charlotte. I was like, what is this fool doing?
Rick did that shit?
Yes.
During the match,
he was like, he went just like this when he was on the barricade. He's like, right in front of his family and everything. And then he said, boom, he hit him with a right. And I was like, man, Rick is crazy. If Rick is going to turn on Sting, though, it would have to happen prior to them or before the match. And that would be to set up the match. Like Rick has somebody in his back pocket, like an Andrade El Idolo or whatever. But not even that one makes any sense, to be honest. So, this would turn Darby heel and allow him to do one thing good. I don't want Darby to be a bad guy. I think Darby is their attraction. They need to kind of get in front of people to bring audience in. I think he has that quality. Just have him do some jackass shit, and people will be like, "Oh yeah, what's this guy? He's a wrestler.
Yeah,
Let's
they'll
go see
get a
what he'll do in a
reaction.
wrestling ring." Yeah, I don't think anybody does. I mean, I don't want to watch him wrestle. I do want to watch the spectacle, though. I don't know, man. It's just funny to me. And then Ric Flair's last match. Yeah.
Well, I
It
think
could've
we
been
all
better.
can agree it could have been better, but
It was just cool to be there and be a part of the whole thing and all that.
oh, certainly.
I'm of the notion.
I'm envious of you. Yeah.
I'm of the
I
notion
would've
that
wanted
Rick
to
should
be
be able
there.
to do whatever he wants to do. Like, if he wants to go in that ring and die in that ring, that's his life. If people are cool with being there for it and playing a part in it, and Rick's like, this is my life. This is what I love, and this is what I want to go out doing. Who are we to say no? I know that sounds crazy, but I mean, honestly, who are we to tell somebody no? Like, if he wants to wrestle and he's cleared, let it go. But yeah, that's me. Great question though, Tyler. What do you have? Who do you think he should wrestle?
I like Darby. I mean, what you guys were laying out makes a lot of sense. There's a part of me that kind of wishes Rick, but I'm like, I don't think so. I just don't want to see the match. I love him being at ringside. Oh, Tony kind of is bugging fella, so it's probably going to be Rick. Well, Nick, that's true. Who knows with
Woo!
Tony? He might.
What if it's
actually
Rick
give it to Rick.
and Sting in a tag team together?
There you go. Where Rick's he's just got to stand there and do the woos and do the far
And they
goes
win the
front. There you
AW
go.
Tag Team Championships. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, no more Rick. Yeah, I know. Getting the emojis now, but hey, it all can happen. It's wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh, all this
Yeah.
about Lita and Trish. Well, yeah, that could happen. I think that's possible. But one more thing I wanted to add to the tournament idea. It's too bad we don't have Chad Gable on SmackDown. That's a guy I could
come
see
on.
with Logan Paul having a good match.
God, I would
Let
love
me
that.
tell you something about Chad Gable here, Tyler. He's dethroning Gunther at WrestleMania. He don't need to get involved with Logan
Yeah,
Paul. He's
well,
gonna
that's
come
true.
back
He doesn't.
around,
No,
and he's
that's
dethroning
right.
Gunther at WrestleMania. I'm telling y'all, it's happening. I said it last April, and I'm sticking to my guns on it. He needs to beat Gunther for that time.
And it's looking like it. I mean, they're teaming up Otis and Tozawa now. That they're not putting Gable in the Alpha Academy tag matches. These establishing himself as a single star. So that's a good start.
Yes.
I like it. And the Creed brothers could have easily been my moment too. That I love what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know that Jimmy's real moment was Punk's promo on Raw, but we talked about that already. So
I'll be
Zac
honest,
Efron versus
it
Logan.
wasn't. It wasn't. I like because Survivor Series would have been the moment, but that was last Saturday, so that don't count. The promo on Raw was cool and everything. It wasn't what I was expecting. It was fun, but it wasn't what I was expecting. So it kind of took a backseat. I'm very super stoked about Brody King. I'm not even joking. Like I when the tournament started, I was like, I know he's not going to, but man, it would be awesome if he could, because he is the most realistic person on that roster to me. Like, I don't think anybody on that roster realistically looks like they could beat Brody King. He looks like that much of a monster. And they portrayed him to an extent. Like, one of my favorite moments in AEW history is when he was choking Darby in that battle royal on the apron. And then he just choked Darby till his legs went lifeless, and then he dropped him, and that's how he won the tournament. And I was the battle royal, and I was like, that is amazing. I need more presentation like that for Brody King.
I like the House of Black.
Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. 37 of them. But anyway, that's the show. Tyler, man, thank you for joining us. It has been a blast. I really appreciate it. Now is the time.
You guys are very welcome.
Yeah, it's our times where we say goodbye. So now is the chance for you to say goodbye and plug whatever it is you want to plug and let these people know where they can find you.
Well, I'm going to say my farewell, but before I go, you can follow me at Dustin Tyler 86. I've also hosted Tyler's Takedowns. It's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And a new show, Waylon, who chimed in, I've started a live show covering WWE called WrestleManiacs, which is pretty cool. It's a playoff WrestleMania, and we just had our debut edition this past weekend. So, and it's great to hear from Nick, Courtney, Amanda. Thank you for the love, and you guys, Albert, Toddy, and Jimmy. Once again, I'm very humbled and honored to be with guys who know wrestling. I mean, you really do.
Much apprecited. Tidy, what do you got to say before we say our goodbyes?
Gotta say, Bobby Lashley's entrance. I'll say it one more time so people can really let it soak in. Man, when the thunder is striking. No, I'm joking. Is it a crazy world, man? It's a crazy world where we're actually saying Logan Paul is not going to be losing at the next PLE when he defends this title. It's why we couldn't pick a lot of people and why we felt this was so kind of crazy, these top five. And not only that, it's also a crazy world where Dominic Mysterio is now the greatest, second greatest luchador because Santos is a number one. I tell you that right now.
Santos said himself, Dom was right. What are you talking about, Tidy? You trying to make it in here?
All right, Dom was right. All right, he also been saying hashtag Santos was right. So there's a rivalry going. Anyways, this is a world where people have accepted Dom now. People have accepted even Logan being a champion now. Isn't it great to just give people a chance and see how far they can probably go? I'm loving these heels right now.
Yeah, it's fantastic. As I said the other day, I think I said it on the Punk thing, I think we have the greatest roster in the history of WWE right now. I do. And I think they utilize it extremely well. 100%. And
thanks to this man.
100%. Thank you for tuning in, Waylon. Much appreciated. Maybe we'll see you sometime soon. And I'll definitely be checking out, what is it, WrestleManiacs? Was the show you do with him?
Yes, sir. Yeah, WrestleManiacs is a show.
So check out that. And now, Albert, tell them what it is.
Whole bunch of stuff this week. So on Wednesday, you can catch me on the Dave Knows Wrestling show right on YouTube. And of course, you can catch me on the Slam Sessions every single week. Posted a new video yesterday. Got a couple of new figures in. Expecting a pretty decent ringside order coming in pretty soon. So that should be fun. Oh, yeah. So check me out over there. Always great seeing you guys.
Much appreciated. Let's get the comments are rolling in. I love it tonight. There was a lot of interaction. I love it. Keep on rocking. Thank you, Nick. That was much appreciated, man. And then Just Enjoy Wrestling, as always. Absolutely, got to just enjoy wrestling. Next week will be our final show of 2023. We'll be doing the end of the year awards. It's more like a celebration. We're picking our own. We're not doing no poll votes. We're not doing no tally marks and all other stuff. I'm gonna let you know my picks. Tidy's gonna let you know his picks. Albert's going to let you know his picks, and we will be joined by our good buddy, David. He joined us last month. He will be returning to give his picks as well. That's what we'll be doing next week, and then we will be taking off for the holidays because everyone deserves a break. That's what I think, and that's what we're going to do. We will return January 7th, I believe it is, the second Sunday of January, the second January of 2024, and it will be just in time for the Royal Rumble hype. I'm very excited for that, even though it's literally a month away. But that's what it is, and that's what it's going to be. If you didn't check it out, make sure you go and check out our Punk show that we did on Thursday. We didn't get as negative as I thought we would, but I did go in on Hangman Page. I'm not going to lie. I won't say anything I said there here because this is the Positively Awesome Wrestling show, not the Negatively Awesome Wrestling show. But, man, I did not like Hangman Page on that night. But go check it out. We did a kind of like I won't say a career retrospect, but we touched on multiple aspects of his career and talked about his return and all that good jazz. So he says, I'll pass. You better go watch that Punk show. I know Lou is a secret Punk fan. I know he is. He got CM Punk draws on right now. I know.
Well, it's not as bad as you think. Jimmy didn't even host it. I did. So
exactly. I stepped back so I wouldn't just be talking the whole time.
You see, the favoritism was given away. No favoritism.
There you go. I try to be fair. And for anybody that's tunes in to watch this, because I'm literally transitioning over to the Positively Awesome Wrestling Twitter page, and I got a lot of new followers over the last week. So if any of those tuned in this week, later on, not tonight, but later on, thank you for tuning in. I much greatly appreciate that. And we're going to really try to kickstart that one off starting this week. Yeah, we're going to do it this week. And since we're going to do it now, this is off the top of my head, we're going to do we're going to pick a weekly wrestler in which I just highlight that wrestler every day of the week. Albert, you are the predictions champion from WWE, so I'm going to allow you to pick the first wrestler we do the highlight for. So without further ado, tell me who it's going to be.
Finn Balor.
be perfect because I love the Judgment Day and I have no problem doing that at all. So, and yeah, Nick joined us for that show as well. So if you like Nick, which everybody does, check it out. He's Nick the Geek. He's everybody's favorite geek. So check
Nick's
that
the
out.
man.
And stay tuned to the Twitter X page, and we will be doing highlights on Finn Balor all week. Best matches, best promo, all that good jazz. I'll even throw in some Bullet Club stuff just because I'm that kind of guy. But thank you again, Tyler, for joining us. And anybody, just make sure you tune in next week for our best of 2023. And without I finally screwed up, man. It was almost a perfect show. Time to say our goodbyes. Don't forget, just enjoy wrestling. Later, everybody. Peace. Deuces.